the United States government. This is not a test. A nuclear attack was commenced against the United States. 15 nuclear bombs have detonated in several areas across the country. They include Baltimore, Boston, Chicago, Denver, Detroit, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, New York, Pennsylvania, Portland, Maine, Portland, Oregon, San Francisco, San Diego, Seattle.
What's up, man?
Hello.
It's been a little while.
Been a long time.
It has been. Season 2 ended, and then we basically just went dark. We both had a lot of stuff going on. But now Bethesda's got a lot of stuff going on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're actually, it turns out, Bethesda's a game studio, and they make games. Oh my God. I would have never thought. I mean, after so long, I just forgot they made games. I thought they were like a lifestyle brand or something. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah, man. I was shocked when I got sent the post and I was like, that's fake. That's not real.
Yeah,
nope, real.
It's crazy how fast that cascade of events happened, where we knew about the rumor for a while after the Oblivion remaster came out, but it wasn't confirmed. And we also didn't know, would it be Fallout 3? Would it be New Vegas? Was it even real? Who was going to be making it? There was a lot of uncertainty there. And that rumor claimed, that, or I guess at this point, maybe leak, claimed that I think it was going to be internally made at Bethesda, which turned out to be true. But I think it was mostly saying like it's going to be a Fallout 3 remaster, and New Vegas wasn't on the table yet, if I remember correctly. But now it turns out it's actually both. They're remastering both, and we have no date yet, but we know they're both in the works. And I kind of wonder if it's like a chicken or the egg situation where Xbox or Bethesda, one of the two, saw how popular the idea was and decided to get on it, or if that leak was actually legitimate. But I guess we don't really have any way of knowing for sure. Either way, I streamed a few days ago, and obviously I'm over the moon about the fact that we are finally getting just on top of everything else they said, which a lot of it we already knew, but it was nice to see them reiterate it. It's just exciting, to say the least, to see all this stuff starting to come to fruition for Bethesda after basically 10 years of swings and misses coming from them. So I don't know. I haven't seen much from you about it, so I'll give you the stage and let you just give your thoughts, because I gave them the other day.
Yeah, so I saw it, and my first thought was, that's cool. And then I checked the comments, people whinging. That's what you expect. You expect people to, no matter what you give them, people will whinge.
Oh, yeah, especially with Bethesda.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue that Bethesda doesn't deserve a lot of criticism, but even if they were doing really well, Bethesda does not catch W's.
And I have a few issues with it, because how are they gonna? Is it gonna be like the GTA remakes or the remasters, where it's like they changed it to be more like GTA 5? Let's say like New Vegas to be more like Fallout 4. I do prefer the gunplay in Fallout 4 compared to New Vegas. Are they going to do that again? Or like that same idea? I'd say probably. However, the game is that good already, New Vegas, in my opinion at least. I enjoy it. I've modded it, overhauled it. I play it like that. That's my remaster already.
It's exactly what I thought too. Is like at least on PC, New Vegas has been remastered to hell and back by fans so many different times throughout the 15 years that it's been out. At this point, almost 16 years that it's been out, that it's kind of like, at least for a PC market, I feel like the remaster has to go hard as fuck to really sell people on the fact that like it's time to move on from your 16-year-old copy of New Vegas where you have 600 mods to this thing that you've managed to work out the kinks and somehow it still runs nice. Like, am I going to get a Fallout New Vegas and 3 remaster when I already have a super modded Tale of Two Wastelands on it? I don't know. So they're going to have to really sell me on the idea that this remaster is worth getting. For us who have it on PC, obviously that's consideration. But if you don't want a mod or you're on console, the remasters are a phenomenal thing. And for so many people who joined when the show came out, who don't want to go back and play a super buggy, at that point, I think it was like 13 years old when the Fallout show first started coming out or whatever. I'm super happy for those people to be able to get their hands on that game and play it. And it's like, I never played the original Oblivion, but when the remaster came out, I bought it and I played the hell out of it. It's super fun. So for me, that's how I played Oblivion, and I know there's going to be lots of people who experience New Vegas and Fallout 3 in the exact same way.
Yeah, definitely. I saw someone, I forgot who it was, but he's got quite a big following saying that he thinks the remasters will have mod support for consoles, like the Creation Club.
Creation Club aside, I would love to see them get proper mod support in the way that Fallout 4 and Skyrim did when they finally got it, like the Skyrim special edition or whatever it was, and Fallout 4. I've always imagined a world, ever since Fallout 4 did that, a world where Fallout New Vegas was remastered and they did that, and I've always just been like, oh my god, that would be so cool, so incredible if like you could get that kind of thing going for people. And god, I hope that's true. Creation Club is its own separate issue to that, but yeah, console mods for that would be awesome.
Yeah, and I feel like it will make it like a lot more replayable because people on consoles have been playing the same game for 16 years over and over again. They've probably done everything about 10 times. New mods, new quests, like amazing. That's what we need. I hope we do see that.
I know I don't think I've ever finished a playthrough of Fallout 4 without mods. So for me, it's like Fallout is one of those, like Fallout New Vegas, I beat plenty of times without mods. But yeah, Fallout 4 is just one of those games where it's like, I need the mods to just like get through some of it because it's some parts of Fallout 4 are a little bit lackluster, to put it nicely. But overall, yeah, I do hope they get mod support. It would be super cool. Fallout 3 especially, I feel like Fallout 3 has always kind of been the black sheep. There was a while, like after New Vegas came out and before Fallout 4 came out, there was like this 3-year period where New Vegas was kind of the black sheep. But after Fallout 4 came out, it kind of went the other way around where Fallout 3 became the black sheep for a long time, and it's gotten very little attention.
Yeah, definitely.
Until very recently.
Yeah, I agree. I have never finished Fallout 3. I don't like the game at all.
It's very old. It's I mean, even by 2008 standards, like you got to keep it, like Call of Duty 4 came out around the same time, if not like a year or two prior. And even before that, Call of Duty 3 came out. And I would say that like Call of Duty 3 and Fallout 3 are almost like the gunplay in both of them feels just as clunky, but at least Call of Duty 3 has like actual iron sights.
Yeah,
whereas
that's one reason I don't like it. I just need to aim.
Fallout 3 is really rough in that sense. And it was before they launched Skyrim, and with Skyrim, I think they really figured out how to make a more linear narrative while still giving people ways to enjoy the world a lot more. So I do like how desolate Fallout 3 feels, but I do feel like a lot of times when I'm wandering around in Fallout 3, I'm wasting time instead of like actually getting something done. And
Yeah.
when I was like 15, that was fine. But as like a, at 26, when I have, a lot of commitments and responsibilities, the last thing I want to be feeling is like I'm wasting time. So, um, yeah, I do hope that if they make a Fallout, the Fallout New Vegas remaster could just be a remaster of New Vegas, and I think it would be pretty solid as long as they fixed the bugs, the like crash bugs, the stability problems. If they can do that, I think it'll be fine. But Fallout 3 definitely needs to a lot of work to bring it up to snuff. It needs to at least be on par with New Vegas in terms of like mechanics and quality of life things.
Yeah, definitely.
I was so in my when I streamed on Sunday, one of the things I kind of talked about was some of the things that if they did a remaster, or rather, I should say, in the way that they're doing a remaster, a lot of times companies will say they're doing a remaster, but it ends up being more like a remake because of how many things they change.
Yeah.
And so I talked about if they were to treat it like a remake instead, I talked about some of the things that I would like to see come to Fallout New Vegas and by extension Fallout 3. So I'm just curious, what things from the, I'm going to use the word modern in a very loose way, but from the modern Fallout games, what are some things that if you could make like your own, maybe wish list isn't the right word, but just your own, like what you would like to see them add to these games, what would you want to see? The reins are yours. You're in control. What do you put in it?
Well, the first thing I'd think of is building. I know it's very like a drama-centric topic. No one likes building, really. I do. I make settlements. I post settlements online. Not like full settlement building. In my head, I envision like you go in New Vegas, you go to like a little hill or a mountain. You set like a tent up. You stay there for the night. You move on. So like the sleeping bag you get.
And you know what? There's lots of locations in New Vegas that could facilitate that. There's so many random empty locations where almost like I could see something like that really working. Especially along the railroad or old Wolfhorn Ranch. Like there's lots of places where they could actually make that work.
Yeah, and
that you can set up to use as player housing.
Yeah. Another one is if there's mod support, right? Well, I guess that's just another one, mod support. And I'd like to see if people can make like moving cars, moving trains, stuff like that. Because we know the trains law-wise work in New Vegas. We don't see them, obviously.
Right.
But I just want like more stuff in the games that makes me feel like it's an actual alive world.
Especially in New Vegas, yeah.
Yeah, because you hear about it, you don't see it. You have to like use your imagination, which is fine. But I'd like to see like more caravans coming through because of the whole like the caravans can't go a certain way anymore. They have to go around, blah blah blah. Just I want to see more impactful like lore stuff that makes you feel like right, this is actually what's happening. There's a serious consequence due to this, rather than this has happened and we have to imagine it's happened now.
Yeah. I know at a point in time there was supposed to be a like a post-ending way to play the game, and it would have been interesting to see. And I'm not saying that they have to do that. One of the things I actually like about New Vegas is that the ending that you get is definitive. This is what happens in the world as a result of your actions, and if you want to change that, you have to play the game again. You can't retroactively try to fix your mistakes. The things that you did matter because you can't go back and fix them anymore. This is this is the state of the world as a result of what you did in it. And I like that. I think that's important to the identity of New Vegas, as it especially focuses on choice and consequence. Just sort of at a large systemic level, everything in the game kind of breaks down from that very basic premise. So I appreciate that they don't let you play post game, but I suppose it would have been nice, at least, if even if there weren't any quests and you couldn't change anything, to be able to just walk around the world and see what had happened, even if you couldn't really do anything about it. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm kind of two minds about that.
Well, I played the Viva New Vegas mod, and that adds like a post game area in. And I love that. However, it because I did the NCR ending for that, everyone was just wiped out. So I'd walk around, there'd be no one to like fight, no one to like encounter because they're all dead or they're all happy, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And I like it, but I mean, like, the Saints Row games do it quite well. Like you do the ending, you get put back into like the game's done, but you can always go and replay that ending. That's like, and you can change your options, stuff like that. I'd like that. I'm not sure if we do it like you finish the game and then you walk around like the post game stuff the mod did. I don't know because I'd like it, but then it's just boring.
Yeah,
because it's just done.
One of the things that I really enjoy in Baldur's Gate 3 is the post campaign party, like the epilogue party, where all your companions who were still alive and in your camp or party when you finish the game, as long as they didn't leave or like permanently die, they'll all be there and you can catch up with them. It's like a 6-month time skip and find out what they've all been up to since your character finished the campaign. And depending on the choices you make, obviously what they're doing is going to be different. And it's also based on like the relationship that you have with them and stuff. So one of the things that I guess I would be interested in seeing is like a way to kind of make it short and sweet, but still give you that like post game thing, would be maybe to do a similar thing and allow you to like explore the strip in Freeside without actually being allowed to leave, and just have a lot of people there that you can talk to, or nobody at all if you like massacred the strip or whatever, or maybe the Legion is there, just whatever, and maybe keep it short and sweet could be a way to do that.
Yeah, definitely. Just more like impactful, like your choices matter more than
a show. Yeah, definitely more of a show instead of tell. New Vegas the New Vegas endings are very tell instead of showing. So
yeah, I'd like to see it like I'm walking around and I see if the Legion wins, you see them like hanging people and crosses when you're just walking around. They're in more control, and then just make the world feel more alive rather than you walk through a desert, Rad Scorpion, you get to the next town, quest. Like, if that makes sense. Like, I'd rather you feel like you actually there's people surviving rather than you just see people once in a while.
Yeah, and to a certain, Fallout 3, I think Broken Steel kind of struggles with that, because assuming you play the game, you do all the regular game stuff, and then you go into Broken Steel, but Broken Steel adds the post-game gameplay, but if you've actually played the game and done all your side quests and stuff, there's really not much to do in the overworld aside from the Broken Steel DLC itself. I guess you could go back and play the DLCs too, but that's kind of besides the point. The New Vegas DLCs are set up in such a way where they're intended to be played well before the Battle of Hoover Dam, is like a way to sort of narratively tie in all these extra plot points, and then Lonesome Road comes in to really tie everything together as one continuous story.
Yeah. Another thing I'd like to see, I've lost it now, is like new quests, new like brand new stuff, but not like crazy lore altering stuff. Like a little side quest you go on, maybe like a new set of armor, or like, do you know that the Creation Club for Fallout 4 had the Enclave stuff? I don't really like that as much, but something similar, but not as impactful.
I would like to see more unique armor sets and weapons be dotted around. If I were to change one thing, and like actual gameplay wise in New Vegas, it would be the fact that there are so many locations in the game where there is absolutely nothing going on. There is no loot there. There's no like There's not a significant amount of caps. There's no way to gain a significant amount of experience. There's no unique enemies. There's no unique dialogue interactions. They have no bearing on the narrative. They're almost just there because some of them are only there because they were in the book, the tie-in like graphic novel that was like the prequel to the game that you could get in the collector's edition. And aside from that, the locations serve absolutely no purpose, and New Vegas is missing so many dungeons. There are so many dungeons that would be awesome to see in New Vegas that just aren't there. And instead of having a dungeon, you'll have like a cave system, and it's the same cave system that's copy and pasted like all over the place. I guess copy and paste is the wrong word. It's all the exact same cave assets. It's not particularly difficult to navigate, and there's just like 8 death claws in it, and you kill them, and at the very end of it, there's like, oh, that's how you get mercy. Cool. Or that's how you get, you know, a certain piece of power armor or whatever. And I wish that, like, for instance, like the railroad service stop had some kind of dungeon underneath it. And a lot of the GRA weapons, I think, could be scattered around the world in that way, where you could have mini dungeon, like either full dungeons or mini dungeons that have those GRA weapons hidden away in them, instead of basically just having them be locked behind this enormous caps paywall, which for me is the number one reason why I always take all the gold bars out of the Sierra Madre, is because if you want those GRA weapons, you got to spend a pretty penny to get them. So there's like, you know, you kind of have to efficiently get them without breaking the bank entirely. And I guess you can just luck 10 your all the casinos, which is fine too. But the gold bars are definitely like the best strategy to do that, and then just take the long haul perk or whatever it is that lets you fast travel with over encumbered. So for me, it's like more dungeons. There's a lot of narrative stuff in New Vegas, but sometimes I want to play New Vegas, but I don't want to be constantly talking to NPCs. And so much of New Vegas is either just simply walking through open desert or talking to like 16 people in a town back to back to back to back. And it's like, sometimes I just want a big dungeon where there's lots of enemies to kill. Fallout 3 has tons of those. Fallout New Vegas does not have nearly enough.
Yeah, I have 2 things, right, that I'm going to ask. Do you think they'll change the power armor to be more like Fallout 4? And go on, we'll do this one first.
Okay. The power armor thing for me is honestly, and this is why I did the stream yesterday on Sundays, because I wanted to me, this is like, if you change that, you're getting into remake territory. But I want them, I do want them to change that, because I want to see power armor be huge and bulky and powerful. And but asterisk, I still think it should require power armor training, because that's an essential like plot point. And I don't know, I just think that like power armor in 4 feels really special in a way that I think the other games, it's like power armor is special because it's scarce and it's difficult to get, and you have to progress the story to be able to use it. But especially in New Vegas, unless you're doing like just a straight up tank build, which even if you are just straight up tanking, like sometimes the elite riot gear is just the best way to go because of the benefits that medium armor gives you over heavy armor, like power armor. Power armor, it's very difficult to find its niche in New Vegas when there are so many great options. So being able to just simply say, okay, we have this power armor system and we're going to bring it into the game. And that also gives them the ability to, again, take a lot of those desolate, empty, purposeless locations and add something to them. So the TLDR to that question is, yes, it should still require power armor training, so that it's like there is like narrative weight to your decisions in getting it. So there is like if you fuck over everybody before you get power armor training, you won't be able to use it. But it would be a good way to invest in all that. And Fallout New Vegas can perfectly facilitate that with things like the repair skill.
Yeah. I think you smashed it. And then, well, with Power Armor and New Vegas, right? I feel like we're gonna have to rescale certain locations, like the bunker, Hidden Valley, right? You have like the little weak armor, weak looking power armor. If you then get the bulky power armor in, like now the two guards in front of like the door to like the I forgot his name now. The big circle room. My memory's not working. Like the map is. You're gonna have to like make that location just a little bit bigger, just
Oh
to
yeah,
accommodate.
yeah.
And then going on to my second one, do you think they'll do a time with the show now that we've got like more lore? Do you think like instead of like the billboards we see, are they going to put like the show's Mr. House on, or do you think they're going to keep it game wise?
So personally, I hope that, like for instance, how Mr. House appears, they should keep that as he appeared in the game and not as he appeared, because obviously as he appears in the show is just a limitation of the fact that you have an actor and the actor looks the way the actor does and you can get close, but you're never gonna 100% nail it, right? But to me, like Mr. House looks the way he does on his screen, and that's how they should continue to make him look in the remaster. But in terms of like Easter eggs from the show, I would be totally fine with seeing lots of Easter eggs from the show. That would be wonderful. As long as they're not like immersion breaking ones where it's like in your face, almost continuity breaking. That would be fine by me. It's certainly not something I think, honestly, for a lot of the stuff where it would be like the power armor thing is different because obviously that's such a massive systematic change that there's no way for you to just simply like modularly put that in or out. I've always been of the mind that I think things like if you want to do a game that has 4K textures, I don't think you should put that in the initial installation. That should be an optional texture pack that players who want that can download, just so that I don't have to have a fucking 128 gigabyte game on my hard drive, even though I only use the like 2K or like 1080p textures. So I have all this like insane file on my computer. And I think if you were going to make changes like that to where it's like, hey, we have this version of the game where we added all this extra Easter egg stuff, and then there's the regular version of the game. I think you could definitely make that like a modular on or off, almost like Halo CE Anniversary did, where you could press the button and you could either have, or like Halo 2 Anniversary was the same way. You could press the back button on the Xbox controller and it would revert to the old graphics. You could press it again, it would change to the new graphics. So maybe in the settings menu, when you leave the game at the main menu, you could do that. Or it could be tied into the Wild Wasteland perk, where you get lots of show Easter eggs, but they're hidden in the Wild Wasteland trait. So, and the Wild Wasteland trait should be something that I think you could take for free. That's a change that in TTW, or the TTW version that I play, Wild Wasteland is a trait you can take for free. You don't have to waste a trait slot on Wild Wasteland. So that's another thing I want them to change. Wild Wasteland shouldn't be a trait; it should just be a thing you can turn on or off at the start of the playthrough.
Yeah. Well, I do hope one Easter egg I would like to see is the cold fusion room behind the bookcase in the Lucky 38. Just like you can open it, boom, there's your reference. That's it. It's not like law breaking, it's there because we know it's now canon.
You can't use it for anything, but yeah, it's like it's just there.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. And you know what, too? Maybe I'll get some. In my ideal version, the strip would also be expanded to host a lot more buildings in it, and they don't have to be filled. They like, but it would be nice just to see a lot more of the Vegas Strip. One of the things that I loved about Fallout 3 was the urban metropolitan area being these enormous ruins, and Fallout New Vegas just doesn't have that, despite the fact that Vegas was such a massive city. So. Like I like Freeside a lot more than I like the Strip because I enjoy the ruins of the old world and walking around them. And New Vegas, as much as I like the Strip, it really is missing just that like desolate wasteland ruins. And there's like concept art where it shows the Vegas Strip actually being, or rather the city of Las Vegas being huge, and the New Vegas Strip being a very small part of that. But in the game, obviously, we don't get all of that, and most of the outer Vegas is just simply like these very small leveled buildings. And I would like to see, um, where the fiends and everybody live should be more like Fallout 3's Capital Wasteland, where it's it's almost like this maze-like system of things where you make a wrong turn, you're going to get lost, and that's what makes the walls of New Vegas and its doors so important to the region, is the stability and security it offers compared to having to live just outside of its walls where it's really shit. And I think that would add to how Freeside is almost like a is dangerously close to being exactly like West Vegas where the fiends reside, but it's just barely more settled and less maze-like and more open. But as soon as you leave that and you're back in that big ass maze, it's like fuck. And then obviously the monorail plays into that because now you no longer have to navigate that horrific maze of ruins to get into the city. You just take the monorail in.
Yeah.
So
I do think there'll add like more buildings around. Definitely.
I hope
think,
so.
I think that's a guarantee. Like, I don't think there'll be like major ones. Just like adding like a little skyscraper here and there, just to make it like there was actually an actual city here, not like houses and just houses.
Yeah, it is. It is to me. It's kind of like I guess really the question of whether or not that would happen is it going to be like the Oblivion remaster where they basically make it more stable, adjust some of the things that people didn't like I mentioned, the Wild Wasteland perk or trait. Maybe they do some balancing passes because obviously if they include all the DLCs, you'll be able to hit level 50, and level 50 is like you're basically a god amongst men at level 50. So I know in the last stream I did, I said one of my things that I would want to see is New Vegas doesn't have enemy level scaling like Fallout 3 and 4 does. Enemies are static. So like some enemies scale, but ones that are like placed on the map statically do not have an adjusting level. And once you hit level 40, I think between level 40 and 50, it should scale with you, where if you're going to that level, it's because you want to be a high level. You can easily complete the game without doing that. It's like you have to be trying to get to level 50. And I would love the extra challenge of like everything that you fight from here on out past level 40 is going to be worthy of being at such a high level, especially because you can get like all your skills to 100 and stuff. If you're going to be walking around as the Messiah of the Wasteland, you better have some enemies that are worthy of the Messiah trying to fight him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But basically, to me, the essential question is it going to be like the Oblivion remaster where under the hood everything is the same, but it's a fresh coat of paint? Or is it going to be more like Fallout 4 New Vegas, where the game is being quintessentially rebuilt in a newer engine, and they're like remaking the game to be this? My expectation is that it's going to be like the Oblivion remaster, because that just makes more sense financially for them. And on a release schedule, to be able to fit these games in there, that's much faster than rebuilding the entire game in the way that Fallout 4 New Vegas is. So for anybody who's watching this and being like, this is why you guys always hate everything, your expectations are ridiculous, I'm not expecting them to completely remake the game. I'm just saying, in a fanciful, perfect world, ideally, this is what would happen. But realistically, it's probably just going to be a fresh coat of paint over what is essentially the exact same game. Which, like I said, for New Vegas, that's fine. Fallout 3 has its own quirks that definitely need to be worked out. But for New Vegas, that's totally fine. And I don't know that I would buy it. But I know for all the people who are on console or who don't want to mod, I'd be over the moon for you, ecstatic that you finally get to experience New Vegas in like a modern, updated way.
Yeah, and in my opinion, I don't think they're going to do like the full thing, as you said, because they're doing 2 games, not just one. And I'm assuming they'll come out together as like a bundle. I don't think they'll be sold separately. I think it'll be like these are like what they said, like Legends Reborn, something like that. I reckon that's be like some sort of title for it. You buy it, maybe like 30 quid or like $40 for you, if that. And then
I think for both of them, as long as they include all the DLC, I think like even $80 for both games with all the DLC and remastered. Like I said, stipulation: you need to fix Fallout 3 to make it not feel like such shit to play.
yeah.
Fix that. Sell it to. I'm like, I'd pay $80 for that bundle. That like fresh coat of paint and everything on like on a console. That's wonderful. Are you
I
kidding
do
me?
hope there's like a physical release of it because I'd like to have like maybe like a little collector's thing or something to go with it rather than just here's the game's released. There you go.
Last year with the 15th anniversary bundle of New Vegas, that case with the like Ultimate Edition artwork on it was, I didn't care about anything else that came in that. But that box with the art, oh my god, it looks so nice. And I was like, I cannot spend $150 for a box. But for a while, I was almost like, I would buy just the box off of eBay for like $25 to be able to put on my shelf with all my other tat from Fallout, because it just looks, that Ultimate Edition artwork just looks so good. And you know what? Another thing, I just want to add this in before I forget. For the love of God, Bethesda, do not fucking make the Ranger armor the Fallout 76 Ranger armor. Keep it looking like the fucking New Vegas version of the armor. Holy shit.
Well, I wouldn't be shocked if they just start it from 76 and then boom.
I know. I'm praying to God that they don't do that, because the 76 version of especially the helmet is so fucking ugly compared to the New Vegas version. The New Vegas Ranger armor, or the New Vegas Ranger helmet, absolutely fucking mogs the 76 version of it. And I'm just like, under any normal circumstances, that's not something that I would worry about, where I'd be like, it's common sense. You should make it look like it did in the game that it appeared in, just with like updated graphics. But in the Fallout TV show, they insisted on making the Ranger helmets look like they did in Fallout 76. So I'm like, please, 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 for the love of God, make it like the actual Ranger helmets that we see in New Vegas and not the fucking slop that you guys made for Fallout 1. Please.
Well,
if I had one ask,
on?
that would be my one ask. Just make sure the Ranger armor doesn't look like Fallout 76. If that's my one wish, I'm using it on that.
Well, I guess speak about New Vegas and Obsidian. How do you feel about them making the next installment for the Fallout series?
Hyped as fuck. Super hyped. I think that Obsidian...
Any predictions?
None. Not a single one. I think you could... It would be interesting if Obsidian did... If they brought John Gonzalez back. Like, if Josh Sawyer brought back John... I think that's his name, John Gonzalez. I hope I'm not getting that wrong. If they bring him back, I would love to see it set in like Colorado or something like that, in Denver or Phoenix or, something like that. Tucson's, Arizona. I would like to see something like that, because Bethesda's not going to want them to do it in like California, where they're going to want to set a mainline installment. But like, the Legion is at this point in the story inconsequential enough that I think Obsidian could get away with doing whatever they want with them and having a really cool story that is involved with them. The other thing is, like, I would like to revisit Chicago, like Fallout Tactics, but in more of an RPG setting. So those would be my two picks for an area, either Chicago or like Denver.
Well, knowing that we're going to Colorado in the next season of Fallout, I could see that definitely happening. We can like tie it in.
Oh, you know what? I forgot that that's where the next season is going to be. So you know what? That's probably actually a bad location for a spinoff game.
I was thinking more north. Like I said this when we were doing the series like stuff. I want to see the Canadian border, like the US into Canada, and just see what's going on there, because we saw in the post credits. And
Seattle would be a really cool place to set a Fallout game. You're still technically in the United States, but you could, in the same way that like a lot of the Fallout games have like cross-state borders.
Yeah,
you could also have like crossing into Canadian territory, and I agree that'd be really cool.
And if not, we could get like a DLC going into Canada somewhere.
I'm really surprised that of all the 3 Fallout games that Bethesda has published thus far, not a single one of them has had a DLC set in Canada.
Well,
Anchorage is in Alaska.
Well, in Mothership Zeta, you'd have the choice to blow it up, like near like Niagara Falls and stuff. So maybe they're just like, I don't know.
Go see the giant alien crater.
I do think they would have that, but then obviously I'd like to see
that'd be really funny.
I would like to see like the falls though, in like you can like look over to like to see the ruins of New York, and then boom.
It would be really funny if there was a DLC for a Fallout game that had a Wild Wasteland trait, and if you didn't have it, there's a whole DLC there. But if you took the Wild Wasteland trait, it was just an enormous crater from Mothership Zeta. There's no DLC. It's just a giant ashen crater.
Well, I do hope we see Canada at some point. We did see some in the show. Maybe they're planning on doing some more with that, with Steph's background.
I did like that they showed us like the annexation of Canada, and that it was not like that it was a brutal, bloody affair, and that it wasn't good, and that it was basically like they were just making labor camps, concentration camps for the Canadians, and that's like a big deal, especially because in Fallout 1, we see the power armor guy, allegedly John Fallout from Fallout 4, according to Emil Pagliarulo, executing a Canadian citizen after the annexation. So, it in Fallout's lore, it's always been portrayed as extremely brutal. But yeah, it'd be really cool to see those cities, because obviously, like in Fallout 4, Boston is stuck in time in Halloween, right? Because it's like the bombs fell like a week before Halloween.
Yeah.
So there's like pumpkins everywhere and plastic Halloween decorations. And I think the same thing is true of Fallout 76. You can find a lot of Halloween decorations.
Like the Halloween houses and stuff like that.
So it would be really cool to see in Fallout, in a future Fallout installment in Canada, there's none of that. And it is just completely war-torn.
Yeah, I'd like to see like
it's not just the ruins of an old world, but it is the ruins of an old world that was literally tearing itself to pieces before the bombs even fell.
Yeah, I'd like to see like maybe like signs of a protest or
hostile occupation.
I mean, we see some of that once again in the post-credit scene. I know it's not like we can't take it as canon, but I'm going to, because it was really cool to see it. Like you see like are they called Mounties in the red like coats or whatever?
I'm not Canadian, but I believe so. Don't quote me on that.
Because I'm not
culturally versed on Canadian lore, so I can't. I can't say.
In my head, it's just one thing I'd like to see is like a group of Mounties who are ghoulified and they're like rebelling still, and they're just like a bit like mental. Like, have you played Red Dead 2 and there's that Civil War soldier who thinks he's still fighting in the Civil War?
Yeah.
I think something like that would be really cool, and like just something different. But
it would be interesting to have them to be like. I wouldn't mind it as long as like maybe they're just like you can't talk to them. You are like you're American. They know you came from across the border, and they still hold such a grudge that like ghoulified, they're still just running around basically like anytime an American crosses the border, they try to kill you.
Yeah.
And that's it. They're not like some plot relevant character or anything. They're just there.
I'd see him as like the Norwegian like raiders in Fallout 4, similar to that. You just kill them, but you
Yeah.
just fuck
And
away
you
about
could
'em.
learn about them through like journals and like notes and terminal entries and stuff like that, but you don't get the chance to like talk to them, you know.
Yeah, I've got like a few questions I'd like to ask. First one, I want them to sort of drop the holotapes a bit. This might sound a bit stupid, but I'd like to read stuff myself. Like we have like notes and stuff. I want to see a journal. We can like scroll through the journal. I think Metro does it. If I'm thinking back to Metro first thing. I'm not sure if they do. But you scroll through the journal, you find out yourself, rather than here's the holotape, listen to it. Oh, here's the password for this thing. Boom, move on.
Yeah, Fallout. Well, that's it. Fallout 3 and New Vegas actually have a lot of. There's very few voice recorded holotapes in Fallout 3 and New Vegas, and that's a very Fallout 4 and 76 specific problem. But in Fallout New Vegas, the vast majority of holotapes you find are like written entries that you read on your Pip-Boy.
Yeah.
But I agree. I would like there to be significantly less voice acted holotapes because it is just like sometimes I just want to grab the holotape and update the quest objective. I don't want to listen to an unskippable 3-minute, soliloquy by fucking, voice like generic voice actor number 15 who sounds like 35 other NPCs that you can find, and they're not particularly invested in this, so it's not even very good voice acting. And like then you hear they're talking like, oh my god, the bombs are falling, but because it's like they did this on their day off, they come in and they're like, oh my god, the bombs are falling. Okay, fuck off. This sucks. This would have been way better as a fucking note. Fuck you. This sucks ass. You ruined my immersion. God damn it, Todd.
And then the other question, what time period would you want this game to be set in? Would you want it after all the games, before, or like maybe even straight after the bombs?
Oh, okay. Ooh, if I get to pick the time period, I'm picking the height of the Legion's power in like if I can pick the place and that like I'm saying Mount Cheyenne at the height of the Legion's power. That's what I like. I want to see Joshua Graham when he was like the Malapace Legate.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And I want that. And if I get to pick the time period, that's what I'm going for. That's very unexplored. The other thing is too, I've said this before. I would like to see the remnants of the other one could be just barely post fall, like maybe even the same time as Fallout New Vegas is taking place. I've said this before. I talked about this in a paragraph, but I'm not sure that I ever wrote it down anywhere publicly. I would like to see a setting where, and I think Chicago would facilitate this fairly well because of not only Fallout Tactics, but also Fallout New Vegas sets up the fact that there is an Enclave detachment or Enclave remnants in Chicago that Colonel Autumn was at before they made their way to the Capital Wasteland. And I would like to see a game set there where the premise of it is the Brotherhood of Steel and then the Enclave, but the Enclave is in two separate halves where you have one half who wants to basically just like be a government, but not like a tyrannical government. They just want to set up shop, and they're not perfect. They're still they're still not great, but they're way better, and they show signs of progress where they do have like lots of progressives in their ranks who you can help give them power through quests or not. But either way, it's like the system of government you would install at that time would still have to progress to be technically good.
Yeah.
And then the other half of the Enclave is like, no, we need to crush these people. And then a fourth faction would be the indigenous peoples of Chicago resisting occupation from both the Brotherhood of Steel and the Enclave. And then you have the Brotherhood of Steel, who would be, you know, the detachment of Brotherhood of Steel that we see in Fallout Tactics. And maybe that's an evolution of them that we see later on. And I would like to see that. I think that would be a really cool premise for a game that would be it would combine a lot of the best elements of Fallout 3 and New Vegas together into one thing. And to be honest, Fallout 4 a lot, because you know, the Brotherhood of Steel, if it weren't in Fallout 4, if it weren't such a xenophobic fascist fucking regime that's hell-bent on genociding everything that's not like pure human flesh, that's an interesting concept, right? So I would like to see that more. And I think the Enclave could be a path of showing that in a different setting. Plus, Chicago is just like, the outskirts of Chicago are habitable, but like the interior of the city is completely desolate and ruined. And it would be interesting to have like kind of how like the glow is in Fallout, or the glowing sea is in Fallout 4, and you have the glow in the old Fallout, and like the Boneyard LA is mostly unexplorable and uninhabitable. So there's like very few, there's like a small part of it that has actually formed a settlement. I think old Chicago could be just like that. Maybe there's like a ghoul settlement, like Necropolis in, you know, like the underworld in Fallout 3 and Necropolis in Fallout 2. You could have that living inside the interior of Chicago. Honestly, that could be your indigenous people faction, is like just a city of ghouls who's like, dude, like, this is what we do, you know. Or maybe there's like two indigenous peoples, but they form one faction, but even within their interpolitics between the two of them, they have problems. So I'm spitballing here, but I think Chicago is an interesting enough city that has a lot of stuff going on, and within the Fallout lore, it's been referenced lots of times. There's like a pseudo canon game that takes place there that's canon but also not canon, and there is there's enough references to it that I think there's a large enough basis that you could make something really interesting there.
Yeah, definitely.
And we also know there are super mutants there because of Fallout Tactics, so it wouldn't be unreasonable to put some super mutants in there. Unlike, you know, Fallout 3 and 4 and 76, where it's like, dude, why are there so many super mutants? At least, you know, Fallout Tactics set up a story for how super mutants did get there. So I don't know. I think it would be Chicago would be an area that I think would be really cool for Obsidian to explore. Like I said, either that or the height of the Legion's power in their empire. So those would be my two choices.
I think for me, the one I go to first, but obviously I'd rather not see it again, is when the bombs fall. I want to see how, because we know the world didn't fall straight away. It wasn't like boom, bomb, world's gone. That's it. There's people living still, like trying to live normal lives. They were trying to get food, and then it fell over time. I'd like to see the downfall, perhaps, but then obviously you can't really. That'd be a bit boring. I'd rather see something cool. I want something new rather than established lore. I mean, I'd like to see a big city fall, maybe at the start of the game, just see like a little backstory. Like, do you know we had that like the war never changes cutscene for Fallout 4?
Yeah.
Maybe just that, just at the start, showing like there was actually a struggle, because there's meant to be a food shortage. You don't see that ever. You can go into Super Duper Mart in Fallout 4 and get
there's so much food left.
Yeah, it looks like no one's touched the thing, but in reality,
it's been 210 years, and somehow like the shelves are still stocked. Yeah, I think Fallout 3 has like it's like an in joke in Fallout 3 where they're like, how do we explain that it's been 200 years and there's still somehow like, shouldn't have all this been picked over? And they're like, there's a ghost that goes and puts the food back. Which is just a funny just way to explain that, the video game logic. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like, yeah, logistically, there are just some things that don't make any sense.
Yeah, I just want to explore that a little more, just give some more like clear mind about it. But then the other side of my head's thinking, I want something new completely, but we can't go too far ahead in the timeline because we still have the show going on.
Mm-hmm.
We still
And
have
they're also Obsidian is doing it separate from Bethesda, and like, Bethesda didn't expect Obsidian to do the things that they did or be as liberal with the story as they were, to take it in so many directions and have it be as consequential as it was. And it was especially like in the DLCs. I know Bethesda got really mad at Obsidian when they made it so that you could side with Elder oh my god, what's his name? The Elder in Dead Money. Oh my god. Elder Elijah.
yeah.
They you could side with Elder Elijah, and if you sided with Elder Elijah, that was the end of the game. You just got a cutscene that is like literally like it's the end of the game. You go back to the Mojave Wasteland with Elijah, and you just like wipe everything out off the map and take it over for yourself. And that was that's a legitimate ending to Fallout New Vegas. And Bethesda was fucking pissed. They're like, you can never, ever do that again with any of the other DLCs. Don't you fucking dare. Because Bethesda, in their infinite wisdom, wants the DLCs to have a main quest that can be considered canon, that doesn't have significant deviation. So that they can just simply call the main quest of the DLC canon and not have to get into the weeds. And obviously, New Vegas, you see how the show tries to tackle it and basically turns it into a giant nothing burger of a background, because of how many different endings there are. And so the way that they solve that is by basically saying, well, the Enclave came and they made it all bad no matter what. So now it bad. And that's how they solve the problem. So Obsidian has to be very careful with where it's placed. And I imagine that's why Bethesda probably wants to be more involved in the process of making it.
Yeah. That makes sense. So, I guess maximum 10 years ahead, if that, of where we currently are in the timeline. I don't know what year we're on.
I think Fallout 4 is technically okay. Wait, well, okay. The show takes place 15 years after New Vegas, which takes place 204 years after the bombs fell.
I think we're in 2293. I think something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right, because New Vegas takes place in 2281, and then you have the show takes place 15 years later. So I think it's like 2296.
Oh yeah, so a bit of leeway. You could put something in between that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you really could. It would almost be interesting if like they could totally make an action game that's just like a straight up like linear story about like how well, no, they really couldn't, because it would, if they did that, then they'd really have to get nitty gritty with the details of the ending. Because if the Enclave, I was going to say make a linear game about how the Enclave got involved with the destruction of the Mojave Wasteland and all the civilization that was there. But if you're going to do that, you would still have to settle on a canon ending for the game to say, like, here was the state of affairs before the Enclave reared their ugly heads and destroyed everything again. So you run into the same problem. So I guess that's not a great idea. I know a lot of people keep saying Fallout New Vegas 2. After season 2 of Fallout, I never want them to revisit that area of the nation ever again.
Yeah.
Like, for that matter, just don't ever revisit another location ever again, because it's just like the way they did it makes it like, when you go back and replay New Vegas now, you can look at it and be like, literally whatever you do doesn't matter, because this is ultimately the state of affairs afterwards. So in my mind, just one and done with these locations. One and done, unless it's going to be like 100 years after the fact. One and done.
Yeah. I mean,
or do what Fallout 2 did and make a definitive fucking ending to the game. Say, this is what happened. and this is the canon ending of the game. These are the choices that the canon protagonist made, and here's what it ended up being. So that at least that way you can go in your own playthrough and be like, well, I'm going to do something different and imagine what a different version of this, like maybe the next installment, like Fallout 2, shows some pretty bleak stuff. And maybe you're like, well, if I make different choices in Fallout 1, maybe that's preventable. So at least with that, there's like the essence of still choice and consequence matter. With the way they did it between Fallout New Vegas and Fallout Season 2, they're like it's literally just a giant middle finger to the face of saying like, whatever you do doesn't matter. Fuck you. So, that's sorry. I think I went on a little bit of a tangent there.
Well, yeah, they'll have to be very careful with what they do. But I mean, I have faith in Obsidian. I think
Me too.
they'll pick a good place, and I hope it's somewhere that has a good story, good exploration. I want a lot more interiors.
Mm-hmm.
I want like an actual meaning to this place. Like, if I'm assuming, because I'm fed up with cryogenically frozen people in the series. I'm fed up with it.
Dude. Yeah, half of every fucking person you see walking around in Freeside is actually some like cryogenically frozen person who's like leading a double life.
Some evil Vault Tech executive for the 50th time. Like,
you can't keep getting away with this.
I liked it in what's it called? There's a vault in Fallout 3 where you go back in like the simulation vault.
Yeah, the pods. Yeah,
is that Vault 112? I want to say. I think it's that one.
Sounds right.
So we have that one. I like that one, and then we have Fallout 4, which I liked. I guess I thought this is a cool idea, but then you see it in 76, the show. You can't get away from it now.
Fallout 4, it's also portrayed as an experiment to see how long cryogenically frozen bodies can last, and if that's like a legitimate way to store people. Like, can you actually do that, or will there be long-term damage? So it's like in Fallout 4, it makes sense as a one-off experiment, but then it's like, if this was an experiment, why did you do it everywhere?
Yeah, and the fact it was hinted that it was like you could buy a pod in Las Vegas and then boom, in the Tops casino, because it's like a sign for it.
It makes sense that, like, okay, I could see them selling this experimental technology to a bunch of like nitwits who are buying into Vault Tech. And in that sense, it's like, okay, I get it. You know, they don't care because they know it's the end of the world, and what they're gonna get sued for, like, you know, neglect. Like, come on, that's not gonna happen. So I can see them selling the cryogenic pods, but like the idea that they would put their own guys in the pods that are like actually matter, they're important people, like with the like Vault 32 and 33 and 31. Like, come on.
Ridiculous. That's what it is.
You have that many people in there that you're relying on for this enormous grand experiment of like that's going to take place over a long period of time, and then it's like apparently tied to the Enclave directly. And like, okay, what was the point of the fucking Vault 111? Like, was that vault built and then you guys were suddenly like, oh yeah, actually cryogenic freezing does work, it's totally feasible, let's build these other 80 fucking vaults that have cryogenic freezing in them?
So stupid. I feel like they had a good idea and then they overused it like they always do.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like the Enclaves and everything now.
Yeah, Todd's like he's like a child who just gets a new toy, and he's just like, gets his new dinosaur toy, and now that new dinosaur toy needs to be in every fucking story that he makes for the next 20 years until he finds a new toy. And it works. Oh my god.
And then he thinks it's gonna work every single time.
Yeah.
Like, it got to the point in the show. I've obviously, you were here for my reaction to it. Well, I was just like, I give up. Like, I'm fed up with it now.
Yeah. Like,
I'd sigh. I saw a pod, I'd sigh.
Dude, it was so. I remember saying when we were doing that, like, yeah, I'm gonna rewatch the series and like maybe in like one big sitting and see like maybe back to back, like see how it goes. And you know what? I never, and don't get me wrong, when I was watching it, I was having fun. I was enjoying myself, but there is nothing about season 2 where I like every time I had the opportunity, I was like, opportunity cost evaluation. Do I watch the literal entirety of Fallout season 2 again, back to back, or do I go do something productive? And I could not will myself to sit down and watch even an episode again. And I was like,
Yeah.
I just don't want to watch it.
I've watched season 1 again with like people.
Mm-hmm. If I were watching it with friends, I think I could do it, but solo, absolutely not.
Yeah, no, I've got zero interest. I know what happens now, and it's just frozen. I'm fed up. Get something
Yeah,
new, Todd.
and it's also just like so many series of reveals of like deepening this conspiracy, and it's like I don't know. Season 2 relies so much on shock value that once you've seen it and it's no longer shocking to you, you just don't care anymore. And there
Yeah,
are scenes that I can watch again, like, but to watch those scenes, you have to watch the whole episode, and to watch the whole episode is to basically waste a day of your life.
yep.
So it's like I just choose not to. And that's not a slight against it. Like I love the characters, you know. I posted pictures. I just bought like an $80 shelf from Target that I built on Sunday. After I finished streaming, I went out with my girlfriend and we drove around. One of the things that I was actually doing that day, and we can get into this in a second. Natural segue. I was buying a shelf because I needed room for all my Fallout collectibles. I was running out of room, and I knew I was going to just about to get a whole bunch more. So I was like, "Fuck, I need more space." And I sent a picture of a few pictures into the couple of Fallout group chats there to be like, "Wow, like my Fallout collection actually looks really nice now that it's like not jumbled together on top of my desk, and I've like spaced it out, and it's not all over the floor everywhere anymore. It's like
Yeah,
I've made it look nice." So I love the characters, and I'm really happy that McFarlane picked up the license and started making those characters because it's really cool to be able to have like 3D representations of them, um, to put on my shelf. So um, I like the characters. I don't like what they did with the setting. That makes sense, and then how the characters interact with the setting as a result of that. Just
yeah.
and there are scenes that are funny and there are scenes that are good, but like I said, they're trying to sit down. Like episode 2, you could not get me to sit down and watch episode 2 on my own again, ever
Is that
again.
the season 2 one?
Yeah, season 2,
I agree.
episode 2. I would never sit down and watch that on my own again. I'd be
Oh,
like, fuck, oh my god, it's dragging out.
pure filler.
It is pure yeah, in the grand scheme of things, it is pure filler. I'm like, dude, and I understand there has to be pacing, like, you got to build up to these villains, but like, oh my god, for the love of God, can we get a move on? I don't need to watch Cooper Howard lay in a fucking puddle of his own piss for fucking 45 minutes and then do it again on a telephone pole that apparently, like, that's just like at some point, just like it's a lamppost, but they took the top off so that they could throw him out, like Lucy could punch him out the window and then he's laying in a fucking puddle of his own piss again. How many times, Cooper, can you just lay in a fucking puddle of your piss waiting for someone to come save you? Holy fuck.
I think it's up to 3 now, I believe. Or maybe even 4 if you include the grave scene.
At least the grave scene was like a part of his character beforehand, but now it's just like, it's almost like a recurring joke where it's like, oh yeah, Cooper's going to end up incapacitated in some stupid way just so that Lucy can run away and do something dumb. That's like... That's their character dynamic, is that he lays in a puddle of his piss because he's stupid, and then Lucy runs away and gets captured. And that's fucking their dynamic. That's their whole dynamic throughout all of season 2. Cooper is the piss baby, and Lucy's the naive moron. Even though she had a whole season of her being a naive moron in season 1, and then in season 2, she should be like, maybe not such a naive idiot. And then they're like, actually, Lucy is even more naive now. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, oh my God.
Like, let me go into this abandoned hospital and save this poor slave woman.
Yeah.
And then, it's...
it's like, it's not even going in there because, like, that... I do that in my game. Like, yeah, I would do that. But then it's like the whole like Cooper's like, yeah, these are Legion. Like, not only does Cooper not just like try to explain to her what a Legion slave is and what the Legion is, he's just like, nah, we gotta kill him. And then fucking like, but then Lucy's doing her stuff, and it like, Cooper, if you just used your words, you wouldn't have to be a piss baby. Holy shit, use your words. You've been around for more than 200 years. You should know how to use your words. Use your words.
Yeah, and another thing that annoys me is that the president scene in the show. It was cool to see him, cool actor, but that's implying that this actor, this random ghoul in the wasteland, ended the world, technically, by handing off the cold fusion. Don't really like that because
there's just way too like Cooper is just it turns the Fallout show really turned the Fallout universe into the Cooper Howard universe.
Yeah, everything's about him now. He's the Vault Boy. He ended the world technically. What's next? Is he going to be like Eden?
He
Is he
founded
Eden?
the Enclave. Yeah, he's president. They made a copy of his mind and turned him into President Eden.
I bet you, if the show ends up near Boston, we'll see a simp of him. I bet you.
Oh my god,
Simp Howard. Like
Synth Howard. Gen 1 Synth Howard. It turns out actually Nick Valentine was a Cooper Howard synth, and we just can't tell because his body's so rotted.
I won't even put it past them. There'd be like some like robo brain that has like his identity.
Oh man. Okay, we should talk about these because we're closing in on we got about a half hour before 8 o'clock rolls around, and I know that means it's gonna be like fucking 1 a.m. for you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pull up some pictures here.
The lovely McFarlane figures.
Yeah, let's talk about the McFarlane figure. Let me pull them up, and then we can talk. Which one do you want to talk about first? Which one?
Let's
you want to give the most?
Let's get the bad out of the way first. Let's do the power armor.
Okay.
T45.
Downloads.
Let's do T45 dance because I've got a lot to say about dance as well. Another repaint, and then we'll do the nice one, beautiful Graham,
okay.
And then we'll talk about the leaked ones as well because I know about them. Still can't find the photo.
I am going to share my screen here in a second. Let me just find it.
I do notice we had a comment on the live stream. Hello, Optic Love, if you're still around.
Let's see here. Where is my... There it is, Windows. Okay, share. And then I just need to put it on the screen. At the stage. Okay. So yeah, the T45. It's crazy that this isn't just a render. This is just like straight up what it looks like. And I know it could look really cool, but they just not put. This is like the Benny and Riot Ranger 2-pack, where it's just like the elite version of the NCR Ranger that they made has so much beautiful paint on it. It just looks good. But then it's like you get the Riot Ranger one, and it's like only the eyes are painted, and everything else is just like whatever the casted plastic was.
It was like a prototype. That's how like basic it looks. There should be a bit of detail. I do sort of like it now. I look at it, but it's just too clean.
The sculpt is really good on this.
Yeah,
it's got a great sculpt. It's just like, and the helmet looks really. The T60 helmet that they did, it looks really squished. They got the proportions much better on the T45. But yeah, I agree. Like it definitely needs like a wash and some dry brushing. And it sucks that they didn't, especially because this is a single release. Like, really, because it's a new sculpt, you can't put any like weathering on it. Like, come on, McFarlane. That's your whole deal. Is like you make the really good painted figures. Like,
yeah,
you do a great job with paint. Fucking put some nice paint on this. I think you mentioned it. Little spoiler warning here. Oh my god, wait a second. Dude,
Oh, lovely. There we go.
The visor does. Oh my god, Todd.
Hopefully
How
that's
funny
just
is
for
it
this
that you
photo.
have? Yeah, you have Todd McFarlane and you have Todd Howard, and both of them are fucking you in the ass with
All Todds are evil.
all Todds are evil. All Todds are off. All the Todds are off. Oh my god, dude.
Oh wow.
Come on. Okay. Oh man.
Yeah, the paint looks, especially on that little headlight at the top, that looks horrendous. It's like bubbling.
Yeah. Have you okay? The hands on the McFarlane figures, like the Vault Dwellers, they look like they were painted with like wall paint, with like matte wall paint, with how much like drippy they look
Yeah.
like they were painted with the Landlord special.
Yeah,
And
on
I'm like,
the
how do you do that?
on the right hand of quote unquote Nora, yeah, it's just horrible. Oh,
Really
both of them.
bad.
Oh, it's like where the middle of her fingers are.
Yeah, it's not pretty. It's not great. That being said, I do like it. If I were to put a brown wash over this and then just like dry brush the shit out of the edges with some silver paint and maybe do a couple like paint chips, this would look awesome.
Yeah.
I think you also told me we saw leaks. This is also kind of the same thing. So you have the Nora and T60 like Vault Tech paint 2-pack,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I've got a
This
lot.
this reminds me very much so of that, where like that figure with some paint on it, like some weathering, actually looks pretty cool. But I just right out of the package with no weathering on it, just looks like
It's just an eyesore.
it's very bland. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to paint mine, and I'm sure once I paint it up, it's going to look really nice. But
Yeah.
same thing with this. I get this on Friday at the latest, so I'm pretty excited to paint it.
I mean, it's got good potential for like a base fig.
Yeah.
And it makes me excited because if they've done this mold that well, the T50 one should look even better.
And the nice thing is that there is actually like so many interesting variations of T45 all over the place that they could do.
Yeah. I'd like to see a rusted one from the start of Fallout 4. That'd be definitely.
That would be neat. It would be, especially now that like they have the mold made. They have the tooling for it. It would be really cool to see them do something with that tool and do lots of stuff. I know one of the things that I want to see is a Sierra Madre power armor. Or not the Sierra Madre power armor. The Sierra, what is it called? The Sierra Nevada power armor? The Scorched Sierra armor. Yep, with the bear head from Lonesome Road. That is a set that like I need to see 100% them do with this.
Well, we'll speak about the leaks towards the end, and then
Yeah,
I know a few more.
So this one is the one that I'm probably the second most excited about. The Paladin Dance is one that I'm not going to say like I might get this if I find it, but if I don't find it, I'm not going to like go out of my way to get it.
I've ordered this one and I don't like it.
It is just like a straight up, repaint. I like the colors.
Nice.
It does look nice, but
the face mold I don't like.
Yeah, it does suffer from Todd McFarlane syndrome, where they really need to start doing face printing and knock it off with this hand painted shit.
I mean, in the package, it looks a lot better than it did in the promotional photo, from what I remember. But it still looks nothing like him.
Yeah, the
colors look really nice.
They do. They work so well, and I know like this is kind of how they. I mean, this is obviously how they were in the game too. But I don't know, something about seeing them on this figure, like the red and the gunmetal with like the little pops of orange here and there for his like little paladin symbol. I really like. It looks really good. I'm very happy with this. At least like with the paintwork. I definitely wouldn't have his head out. I would 100% put the helmet on. But I think you can kind of see what I mean when I say like the T60 helmet kind of just looks squashed.
Yeah,
a little bit. It's a little squished.
And it's just sad how it's another repaint with an extra head mold. Like, it's cool we're getting like companions
And
now.
no weapons. He doesn't come with a weapon.
No, but luckily I've got the elite. I've got 2 of the elite T60, so I'll chuck one in his hands. I heard someone say the elite T60 weapons don't fit in the hands correctly of Dance and the T45.
That's so sad. This is honestly, I'm going to say this is just as a general rule of thumb, and we're going to see it with Joshua Graham too. But like even with the T45, like you get a swappable hands and this little tiny 10mm pistol for your fucking power armor fig, dude. Where are the big guns, Todd? Where are the big guns?
It's like they want you to buy the expensive elite figures to get the bunch of figures, right? Weapons. But why should you need to? Like, yeah, I've got plenty of weapons to give people now, but I don't need to. Like,
the fact that the Riot Ranger did not come with any weapons, like it didn't come with Maria, and it didn't come with anything to put in, not even the Ranger Sequoia, or even a knife. It didn't even come with the combat knife. And then to have like the Nora and Power Armor 2-pack not come with any weapons too, and have like virtually no weathering on it at all. And then now this, where you get the 10 million, and this is like a regular release figure. So, and you know what? I'll give them the slightest bit of credit that they're making a brand new mold of this, which is the T45, as a regular release, and they're not putting it in like the elite just to give it like, you know, a bunch of accessories. So, okay, the smallest amount of credit there. But give him a bit, like you've made bigger guns. Like you could give him an anti-material rifle or just something that's actually big. I don't know. It's just, it makes me mad that that's that. And the same thing here with it. Like you could have given Dance like a laser rifle, or hell, you could give him the assault rifle. And I know people hate the assault rifle, but this is at least from Fallout 4. Give him the Fallout 4 assault rifle.
Yeah, it needs like a laser rifle or something. I might have to like 3D print one off.
Yeah,
and then just get
I will almost definitely be ordering a lot of 3D printed parts for these guys. I don't. You got anything else to say about Dance? I think the paint looks great. A little more weathering, maybe like a black wash on some of these parts would have been nice. And obviously, the fact that there's no weapon is just inexcusable on their part. Especially because this is I can't see. This is a regular release, right? Like it's not an elite.
Yeah, it doesn't look like an elite. Well, the amount of paid, it's definitely not an elite.
All right. You got anything else to say about Dance?
I guess the only thing is it makes me hopeful that we can see more companions throughout the games. Like we spoke the other day about like an Eddie like companion with like Boone or Ganon. Just it makes me hopeful that they're going in the right direction.
Yeah, I know you and I definitely talked about that. I want to see them make all the companions from the different games. I want to see at least every Fallout New Vegas companion. I want Cass, I want Boone, I want Veronica, I want Arcade, I want Rex, I want Eddie, I want Lily, I want Raul. I want all of them.
I want Harold from Fallout 3.
As like a big ass tree guy. Yeah,
I think that'd be sick actually.
That would be a sick ass like display piece to have Harold. Like that would be a centerpiece for sure. I mean, hell, we have this T45 now. You could very easily make like a Lone Wanderer character with this.
Oh, easily.
And then put them next to Harold. Yeah, that would be sick. The last one is Joshua Graham, and I think I have the most to say about this.
In what way? Like bad or good?
Both.
Let's start with the bad. I think
I'm gonna go fill up my Dr. Pepper here real fast. I will let you start with your thoughts. My mouth is a little dry, so I'm gonna go grab a drink and I will let you give your thoughts.
Sounds good. I'll solo it. So, hello stream. It's me for now. I like this figure. I think it's really cool. I like how you see he's burnt underneath the mask. The coloring's quite nice. The gun maybe a bit more detailed. From here I can't tell if it's his gun from the game. It looks really cool. I really like it. However, there's just something off to me. I can't name it. Maybe it's the amount of joints you can see. It looks like he's been shot a million times with the amount of holes in him. I think it looks good. The gun needs a lot more detail, but obviously it's not. I don't think this is an elite figure either because I paid in total. I think I paid £50, about $60 for this one and Dance Together from McFarlane. So, and an elite itself's about that just for one. But I think it's a good step in the right direction for these figures. We're getting actual characters from the games. I've noticed very centric towards Fallout 4 and New Vegas, quite lacking. Oh, and 76, quite lacking in Fallout 3, and maybe even the older games. But I'm not sure if they have the license for the older games.
They could definitely. I mean, as long as Bethesda gave them permission to do it, it'd be fine. So for me, it's like this. I think is the worst spot, and this I think is just because of the posing that they've done here.
Yeah,
they've extended the double joint all the way out when they didn't need to, which makes his arm look really gangly. And I think these biceps, they look like they look like they're reused from another figure. And so I don't know, there's just a lot here that looks kind of out of place. I do really like that the bandages got this really nice wash. I've seen cosplays where people will do him, but they won't weather the bandages at all. So it looks like he's wrapped, like they're just wrapped in toilet paper with a SWAT vest. And it's certainly a choice. So I'm glad they did weather the shit out of it. But like here at the like joint for the hands, it's like, come on, like there should have been more sculpt work here to get that wash on it. And then at the shirt on it, like the more of a wash on the shirt. I feel like the biceps maybe should be a little bit bigger. Like it shouldn't be so skin tight, you know?
yeah.
Like the shirt should pop out a little bit more. And additionally, I don't think these cuffs should have as much of a wash as they have on them because it makes it look like it's the bandages being wrapped over the shirt rather than the shirt cuff stopping over the bandages. I don't know. It definitely kind of looks weird. The head looks really great.
Yeah.
They did like this reminds me of the Honest Hearts promotional art where it's just like the up close of Joshua Graham's face. And it's like super detailed and you can see all the like scarring on his flesh from being burned alive. The other thing here is that it looks like we've gotten it's hard to tell if this is definitely reuse from the Ranger, which is itself a reuse from the Joker, from when they have the DC license. So, which is fine because it's like, you know, it's Joshua Gray, like he's just wearing jeans. The bottom should be a lot dustier, much more brown towards the bottom. He's got a lot of dust on him, and also the like rattlesnake skin boot. The snakeskin boots are not done very well, methinks. Same thing with like the pistol. Number one, this should be it should be a snub-nosed 45. It's not. It should also be a bright silver, not this gunmetal, and it should have a rattlesnake grip here. And there should be at least some kind of indication along the barrel of, or along the slide, I should say, of the Hebrew text that he has on his gun, where a light shining in darkness gets its name from.
Yeah, I agree.
Outside of that, I mean, again, I'm just super happy that we're getting him. You know, like when they started doing these, I was like, Joshua Graham for me is like, they have to make him. Like, he is one of the coolest characters in the entire Fallout franchise, bar none. So I'm super happy that we're getting him. I imagine part of the reason we are is just because he has like infinite reuse potential between like, okay, now you've got this SWAT vest, you've added this belt with the pouches on it. It's just like cowboy boots with the jeans. That's all reused. These biceps are probably reuse. So the head has to be. You could reuse this for a bunch of different figures from just like any franchise or license. It's just a SWAT vest. So I'm super happy that they made it. And despite all my problems, like you can see in here, he does look gangly. But I think once you have him posed, he should be fine. And especially as long as you're not doing this with the arm and you're using these promotional shots are just not very good. These are very bad promotional shots. The other thing that I really wish he would have come with is his scripture, because in New Vegas, in Honest Hearts, once he leaves the cave, he is always in the Sorrows camp, and he is always like sitting on the ground, reading his scripture. Almost always, like that's his like number one idol pose that I see him making anytime I go to talk to him. And so I really wish he came with like an open Bible for him to be like that. You could pose him in that. That would be nice, but that's a nitpick, and you can very easily make that out of like milliput or something. So I'm not gonna cry too much about that. But in a world where we have to choose between Joshua Graham being made versus not being made at all, like I would say this just from looks alone, I'm going to give this like a 7 out of 10, maybe like a 6.5 out of 10. But I would rather live in a world where we have a 6.5 out of 10 Joshua Graham than no Joshua Graham figure. So I'm really happy to get this, and I was so excited that they announced this. I when they posted the official like pre-order links, I remember I sent it straight into the big group chat. I was like immediately like, guys, it's up for pre-order, and I sent like 2 pre-order links because I pre-ordered it on BBTS and Amazon in case one of them canceled it. So whichever one fulfills it first, I guess I'll cancel the other. But I was like, I need to get Joshua Graham. I need it. I need this. And like I said, Paladin Dance, if I can find Dance, I'll probably get them, but I'm not gonna like go out of my way to look for them. It does suck that this is at least in the US, this I believe is a GameStop and Target exclusive. You cannot get this. You cannot get this from like any. I don't think you can get it on like BBTS. I don't think you can get it on Amazon. You can only get it from GameStop or Target. This is prototypes shown. Final product substitute change. Unfortunately, this is like what the in-hand image also looks like. So I would just give this to like disregard this. Unfortunately, this is what the finished product looks like. So that's just what we got to deal with. I do hope we get just like a regular T45 like silver variant. I have the Hank figure, and I'm assuming it's exactly the same as the Maximus figure with the armor. The silver on it looks really nice. Like it's not just flat silver. Like there's a lot of like depth to the metallic look. So I hope we get something like that soon. That would be nice to see. All right. We got a little bit of time left. Do you want to talk about the leaks for the set, the like figures that we think they're going to be making?
Yes, I can. So I saw a photo on the Reddit quite a while ago now. It showed the Sierra Nevada power armor with the bear on its shoulder. Nick Valentine, and there was one more that I can't remember, but I can't find the image anywhere. But I can guarantee from the leaks, because it's been listed in like the McFarlane leaks thing, Sierra Nevada, sorry, Scorched Sierra Nevada to be exact, is confirmed. Nick Valentine is not, and the other one I don't remember what it was.
When you say confirmed, what do you mean by that?
It's on multiple like leaked lists. So obviously it came up in like the Fallout like subreddits, and then I was like, "Oh, this is cool. I'll check it out." And then I went onto the McFarlane one. It shows you like every single character that's coming out. And it's the same people who leaked like the Benny figure, which at the time was called Benny Survivor, before we knew anything. So it's Scorched Sierra is confirmed, like in the leaks to come out. We don't know when. I'm assuming probably towards the end of the year. I'm not sure how they'll do it. If it's be like a ghoul, perhaps that'd be cool to have like a New Vegas ghoul face model. Yes, I spent ages when we were talking about it. I spent like an hour trying to find the image. Couldn't find it anywhere, but I did find the leaked list, and the only one listed was Sierra Nevada Power Armor.
I did just find somebody who has a it looks like, let's say it's Japanese on the what subreddit is this? Just r/Fallout. And they are saying on March 10th, McFarlane's official shop on it's Chinese. On a Chinese retail site dropped a listing for the Fallout 3 remastered T45B Nuka-Cola 7-inch figure. It was supposed to ship in July, 4 months after it went live. Fast forward to today, June 10th, and they've got 2 new Fallout items up now. Funny how their estimated release is October. Again, a 4-month turnaround. The 2 new figures are named Fallout New California Ranger 1/10 figure and Scorch New California Sierra member 1/10 figure. So that does sound like we are going to be getting that. They're saying, here's the weird part, though. The shop marked these as Fallout 4 merchandise. Anyone who's played the series knows the Scorch Sierra Power Armor is straight out of New Vegas. It has nothing to do with Fallout 4. I think they're just using Fallout 4 as a placeholder to keep everything under wraps and avoid leaks. Curious what everyone's thoughts are. Previous rumors. Let's see what these previous rumors are. Let's see here. Okay, so it is just the T45B Nuka-Cola. When did a T45B Nuka-Cola ever come out, or is that another T60 repaint?
Hey, Wild Wasteland, hello. No, it was the T60 Nuka-Cola. It was that got leaked ages ago. That was before Christmas. I knew about that. But at the time, because in the UK we have a shop called Mankind, right, which is like it sells like, I don't know how to explain it, like not like GameStop. Do you know like the collectibles? It's just like a collectible shop. And they had it on display in there way before it was even announced. So they must have changed it from being T45 to T60 at some point.
Yeah, let me look it up real fast. T60.
I've just checked. The T45 eye paint we saw before has been fixed in the actual model, which is good. Doesn't fix the issues, but I'll take it. And yeah, I forgot that it was the other leaked one was an NCR one because it had the bear on the chest. Because I was saying, because I've 3D printed myself one out and painted it myself. I was saying, oh, I'm glad I'm going to get an actual one to go with it. So that's reminding me of that.
And did the T60 one already come out?
Yeah, I've got it on my shelf.
Okay.
That was a pain to get because it was a GameStop exclusive again.
Yeah, and I just looked on GameStop and it's sold out. So
I found it on Amazon, luckily.
Oh, I should look on Amazon right now and see if it's available.
It's just a complete repaint of the first T60 Elite figure we got. However, they fixed the left arm falling off because when I think I spoke about it when I first got it. The left arm doesn't stay in the socket, and it just falls out. But they fixed it, which is good.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem. It's good that they fixed it. Let's see here. Okay, McFarlane Elite 7 Fallout 76 Nuka-Cola T60 Gold Edition. See all buying options. $84.78. Okay, that's the cheapest one I can get. $84.78 USD with $5.99 shipping. I am going to pass. I don't need that.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, definitely not.
I just got it for collector's sake, just so I have the entire set.
And especially if you got it for like retail, then you should be fine.
Yeah, I paid about £60. It's not bad. Way under what McFarlane was selling it for.
Yeah.
Or GameStop.
Let's see here. Oh, this is interesting. If you are in the US or at least in the Midwest, it looks like McFarlane Toys, the Fallout 4 T60 and Soul Survivor 2-pack is, instead of being $70, it's now $50. So
Nice.
I think that's actually a really nice price for these because they are both nice figures. It's just that, like, again, they don't come with any weapons. So you'll either need like an elite figure or some 3D printed stuff or like an accessory pack. McFarlane does sell those like weapon accessory packs. Let me see if I can't find one of those on Amazon real fast here. Or just like maybe I can find picture. Let's look it up. Farland Toys Weapons Accessory Pack. And yeah, I mean, so you can get it on like BBTS. Oh, this was by Valvers. What is it? Oh, this is 1/12 scale. No, we don't want that. Just look up. Can I just look up McFarlane on BBTS? McFarlane by McFarlane Toys. Let me go to McFarlane Toys, and then can I go to product type? Let's just say action figures. I'll look through this real fast and see if I can't find an accessory pack on here that's in 1/10 scale, because I know they make them. I've seen people talk about them. I just need to find it. And if BBTS doesn't have it, then that might mean it's kind of difficult to get your hands on. Because you would think these accessory packs would be in constant production, you know, like there'd be no reason to ever stop making them.
Well, not like Temu do some good ones. They do like some little Fallout weapon packs. Well, they're not calling Fallout weapon packs, but they're all right for the price you're getting, at least. But I don't think they're in scale for
just being able to, like, stick them in the characters who literally don't come with any fucking anything. Like, let me just look up accessory pack on here. If I can't find an accessory pack by searching it, then I might be fucked. Come on, McFarlane. Come through for me. Mythic Legions, that's 1/12, 1/12. That's the other thing. Everybody makes 1/12 scale figures, and McFarlane is like, no, we're making 1/10. So it could be pretty hard to find stuff that all fits perfectly. There's got to be a man. This stuff is all 1/12. Come on now. You got to have something. Yeah, it's all 1/12. That is unfortunate. Okay, let's see here. We got some stuff here. What does this say?
We have another chatter in the stream. Hello. Oh, I'm going to mispronounce this.
Oh, what's up, Harpo? Harpo's been
go.
around here. Yeah, he's been around here a few times. What's up, man?
Yeah.
Nice to see you. You've missed most of the stream, but if you want, you can just watch the VOD. And it is now that, like, my wonderful co-host Mysterious Stranger is here, I'm not just screaming into the void at myself, getting lost in my own tangents. So there's actually a connective tissue between everything we talk about. So you can actually listen to this one, and it's not just the ramblings of a madman. I'm looking on like BBTS, and I can't find any 1/10 scale accessory packs. That sucks, man. I would have really hoped. I mean, can I add search in results? Let me add 1/10. See if that helps. Nope, just a lot of softcore porn figures. All right. Wow. BBTS sells it all, I tell you what. Yep, third page. Oh, wait, we got some soccer player characters. Okay. Well, moral of the story, you can't get it on. Oh, well, hold on. I just found it. What's this on eBay? eBay. Guns for 6 or 7 inch DC figures. Okay, so well, they sell it on. This must be like a third party thing. Or there's this U.S. McFarlane Toys Musicians Pack Weapons Guns for 7 inch figure DC munitions pack. That's what they call it, a munitions pack. Let me look that up. McFarlane Munitions Pack. This, of course, is their scheme to not include figures or like weapons with the figures, so that you go and you buy the weapons pack. Let's see here. So, okay, well, I can open it on their website. Let me. I mean, there's some pretty. There is actually some cool stuff in here that could be worth it if you were. Let me share my screen here. This will probably be the last thing we go over before we call it good. Share screen. And McFarlane share. So I gotta add it to stage 2. Fuck! Where is StreamYard? There it is. Add to stage. So you can see that there is this minigun looks really nice. That would be sick for some power armor to go with it. There is some cool stuff here. A lot of it's not really exactly. I guess this looks kind of like the combat rifle. You could probably get away with that a little bit. Some pistols, some revolvers. You could paint some of these to look like the alien blaster. So it's not perfect, but some of this stuff I think you could definitely make work. And it's a lot of these, like that minigun is painted really nice. The dry brush on it looks great. Let me see if I can't find more accessory packs. So let's see here. We've got this, which is a bunch of stuff. An RPG, sawed-off shotgun, spaz. Yeah, there's some stuff in here you could definitely work in for $10. I mean, okay. If you really want them and you don't want to 3D print them or paint them, you could definitely do this. It is a McFarlane Toys exclusive, so that might only be available in North America or maybe even the US, but there's definitely some stuff in here. That RPG comes to mind. This right here, I don't know what that's supposed to be. I'm not a... Was that like not an SKU? I can't remember what it's called. SVT, whatever it is. That's probably not an SVT. I sound like an idiot. Definitely the double barrel shotgun, the sawed-off shotgun is going to be sick. And then I know the spaz isn't actually in Fallout, but I could definitely see it fitting in the Fallout universe. That would be sick. You could give that to the courier. Give them or one of the Riot figures. That'd be pretty sweet. Let's see here. 17 count. Oh, I guess these are the only two they have. Or, excuse me, is this one pack number 3 and pack number 2. Huh. So where's pack number 1? Do they not sell pack number 1 anymore? Maybe is that it?
Todd Howard stole it, probably.
Yeah, Todd Howard, and maybe that's why McFarlane got the license, because it's Todd McFarlane talking to Todd Howard, and he's just like, Todd, absolutely.
They're conspiring once again.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I mean, this isn't bad. Get them for $35 a pop. I mean, I guess this is like technically still you're paying full price for each one, but if you wanted a spot where you could get both, you can pre-order them on McFarlane's own fucking store. So there you go. They've got I mean, they've got a lot of video game stuff. It's just too bad that it's McFarlane Toys. You know what I mean? Like a lot of this would be way cooler if it was made by a better toy company instead of McFarlane with the fucking slop paint, the goddamn drywall paint on the figures with the shit ass hands. Like, god damn it. All right, well, I'm not finding anything. So, um, that's basically that. If you want more accessories, you either gotta like buy them. Yeah, $10 is not a bad deal, Harpo, for sure. Like if it's on sale, like I definitely think. By the way, Harpo, this is why I am strongly opposed to and Mysterious Stranger. This is a little tangent I have to go on personally. Me and Harpo are both Black Series collectors, and one of the things in the big collecting community around the Black Series that I hear sometimes is like, what if they made accessory packs that included like replacement blades for lightsabers and stuff? And part of the reason that I'm so against that for the Black Series specifically is just because they will start doing what McFarlane is doing now with these Fallout figures, which is just straight up not including weapons or accessories that they should absolutely come with, and then putting them in an accessory pack and saying, well, if you want these, buy the accessory pack. And that's my horse to die on. Like I know for a fact Hasbro would absolutely take that as the opportunity to nickel and dime people. So I'm not, I like the concept of the accessory pack, but it's like when you have to buy the accessory pack. Yeah, exactly. You give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. 100%, dude. They will 100% take a mile. You are absolutely right on that. And that's the same thing for McFarlane. And like I said, I would rather live in a world, I said this about Joshua Graham, but just in general with Fallout, I would rather live in a world with like nickel and dimed Fallout figures than no Fallout figures at all. But still, that doesn't mean I'm going to like, just give them the sloppy toppy over it. Like it's still not okay for them to release them without any weapons whatsoever. And I thankfully got the ones that like, I got all my 2-packs as Christmas gifts. So I did not have to spend money on figures that were like, trying to nickel and dime you for every little tiny bit of money that you had to sell you accessories that should have come with the figures. But, I'm, I love Fallout, so it's like, oh, fuck, at some point, like, will I buy Paladin Dance? Like I said, if I see him, I will. It's just crazy to me that he's a single release. He's not even a 2-pack, and he doesn't come with a single weapon. Like, not even a laser pistol. Not even something they've already molded. Like, you have the tooling for this stuff. You have the accessory packs, Todd. Like, you don't have you can't use one of the things from the accessory pack, even if it wasn't accurate. Like, come on, dude. That's just so cheap. That's so cheap that Paladin Dance doesn't come with anything. And then the T-45 only comes with the 10mm pistol. I know it's Fallout 76, but like, well, there's cool shit in Fallout 76. You couldn't make a gun from Fallout 76 that's like unique to 76, like a Fallout 76 Gauss rifle or something. Come on. But Joshua Graham not coming with the proper pistol, just like a generic handgun instead of specifically the light shining in darkness. So there's a lot of good and a lot of bad with these, but overall, I'm happy that they made them. So I don't know. Do you have any closing thoughts? Probably now's the time to give them.
I feel like overall, they're going in the right direction, as I said. However, it's just these little nitpicks here and there. It's just they're so close to having a good final product, and there's always like. It can't be difficult to put one gun in, or 2 guns, or just a head mold that actually looks
and
like
pretty cheap between all the between all the lines that they make, and the fact that Fallout for the most part uses like very realistic firearms. I know that Fallout 4 gets a little bit more out there with them, and the designs are definitely more unique in that sense to the Fallout universe specifically, with like the combat rifle or the assault rifle or the laser guns, you know, plasma rifles, all that stuff. But like even just regular firearms, like you make so many different things. You even sell these big accessory packs. You couldn't pull the tooling from one of those to pack them in with that either way. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's definitely like, I don't know how to say it. It's just, it's so close, yet it's so far at the same time.
Yeah. And it's like, it's just, it's so close to being awesome. And then there's just like between all the reuse, like on Graham, because it's using the reuse from the Ranger figures for the pants, he can't put his legs together. So he's always going to be standing weird. And then, you know, it's like he's got those wonky elbows. So his, like, you know, in those promotional pictures, he looks really weird. And then on the T-45, it's like no paint and only a 10mm pistol. I'm like, oh my God, we cannot be. I know shit is expensive right now for everybody. Like, trust me, I get it. Like, prices for oil is really high for plastic, and tooling's not cheap to make. And so making an entirely new power armor figure in this day and age with everything going on in the world, I get it. It's expensive, it's difficult, whatever. But like, dude, like, let's be real, Todd. Okay, you're not paying you're not paying full wages for like a guy with like 3 kids to take care of to paint these figures. Okay, you got a fucking factory in China and a bunch of child slaves who are painting these figures. Okay, don't give me that shit. All right, it ain't that fucking expensive for you. Put the paint on the figures. All right. Well, I know you want to let people know where they can find you and find your stuff.
Of course. So, I'm the Mysterious Stranger. You can find me on all platforms. I think, except Twitter. Don't have Twitter, or X. I apologize, Mr. Elon Musk, if you're hearing this. And I'd like to also plug.
Don't vaporize us.
I'd like to plug a little project I'm a part of, and it's called Fallen Britannia. We are hoping to make the first, well, I'll say the first, one of the first Fallout events for fans in the UK. And you can find us on Instagram, Discord, and Facebook. If not, private message me and I'll give the links to any of them.
What's that? Also, there's that Power Armor Fest thing going on soon, isn't there?
Yeah, that's next year, I believe.
I know somebody shared that. Let me see if I can find that, because that'd be pretty sweet.
That's why Wasteland Jamboree's taking a year break in between to let Power Armor Fest do their stuff.
Yeah. Let's see here. Okay, the information that they shared is for vendors and people attending as like a people who want booths or to be a vendor or something like that. So I don't think there's anything out right now for just visiting. If you just want to come hang out. Let's see here. Bottle cap hunt, map and schedule. I don't see a date for 2027 schedule. So April 23rd is the setup and early arrivals. And then April 24th, 2027, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. with official and fan-hosted events. Oh, whoa. Hold on. Official and fan-hosted event. I wonder what official, does that mean like they're going to have like Bethesda a part of this? Is that what that means?
I think so. I think they're quite like it's quite a big thing.
That would be really cool if Bethesda's actually taking an active part in this, and they're not just like squeezing, like trying to. ZeniMax isn't just like obliterating their fucking asshole from inside out for like doing something about with Fallout, as ZeniMax likes to do, like fucking Magneto, just blow them up. All right, well, and if you guys are watching this, you obviously know you can find my stuff on this YouTube channel. Additionally, you can also find me on Instagram by the exact same name. So if you are still watching, thank you very much. If you're watching the VOD and you've sat all this way through, I can only imagine that you're either sleeping or this is playing in the background. Either way, thank you for leaving it on. And for everybody who came in live and just chatted with us, Harpo, thank you. Wild Wasteland, we appreciate you swinging by. Optic Love, I don't know what this comment was. You might be a bot, but I appreciate the comment. Harpo, you take it easy too, man. I appreciate you stopping by. We appreciate you stopping by.
Of course.
I think when I get them in hand, I'll probably do a little more streaming just to talk about my on-hand opinions, and I might have my webcam set up so I can actually show them off, and especially if I get to do the painting on them. I'd really like to see how they look with some more paint on them. So I did a stream a little while ago with my Pip-Boy 3000. I got to finish weathering that, so maybe the next time I do that, I'll go live too. And Mysterious Stranger, obviously, anytime you have time to come on, you're more than welcome to. If you have a slot open and there's something you want to talk about, you just let me know and we'll make the time for it.
Yeah, of course. I'd be happy to be back.
All right, you guys, everybody, take care. Hope you all have a great evening. Adios.
Adios.